Hi everyone, this is E, the Empty Nester. How are you today? I thought I'd do a little bit of a video on Adzuki beans. I started out with these as sprouts. I got a few to try and they were really good, and I learned a lot more about them. And I looked on the internet, and Dr. Axe put an article up with 5 things that are beneficial about these. You know, everybody goes for superfoods now, and superfoods, the title is just kind of like an advertising ploy to get you to try something else. And even though they are good for you, it's just a new way of bringing this bean and this bean even more into the light of public. With Adzuki beans, they're actually related to the mung bean. This is the green mung bean, and you usually get them as sprouts. And if you look at the Adzuki bean here, this one is the one that was in the 4-pound package. Let me show you how they were purchased. On this side is the 2 pounds of organic Adzuki beans. This is 4 pounds of Adzuki beans, and it's distributed in Woodridge, Illinois. It doesn't disclose location of where it comes from, and it doesn't disclose organic. But here's an up-close view of these. Are the ones from the Indonesian store next to the ones that are certified organic. You can kind of see the size difference there. This is a mung bean, the green one, and you can really see the size difference. Even though these are like a red mung bean, they're a lot different than the mung bean as far as taste and sprouting abilities. The difference, you can actually go through your hand and sort out the organic ones being larger. And I read that these are from like Asia. You know, Japan grows them, and China and Thailand and all that. And I put those in there. We'll put them all back into this jar. I got this at an international store, and this from a local in Colombia, local, you know, about 70 miles away store. And this is $2.49 a pound versus 4 pounds for like $6-7. So the cost is a lot less there. And with mung beans, they're about $6 a pound. When you're looking at these online, you're looking at about $16 a pound some places for the Adzuki beans. So it's way cheaper if you can find an international or Asian store near you to buy these to grow as sprouts. Or I'm going to take the ones here that are certified organic and grow them in my yard, along with, you know, I've grown mung beans before, but to try to start repopulating my own and making myself more self-sufficient. But let's take a look at the benefit. And when you hear how good they are, you can find that there are other beans almost as good, just as good, and nowhere near as good when you start reading all the labels. Let's compare these to pinto beans and chickpeas and black beans and kidney beans now. When you look at the nutrients in the products, this is Adzuki beans, this is chickpeas, and this is kidney beans. Kidney has, if you look too at the totals when you're comparing them, they've got 1 cup 184 grams, 1 cup 197 grams, 1 cup 12.5 grams. So there's different weights involved per cup on each of these beans. Calories for kidney is 613, 648 for Adzuki, and only 46 for chickpeas. Total fat for kidney 1.5, 1 gram for Adzuki, and 0.08 or 0.8 on chickpeas. And then you can go ahead and stop and read the rest of this if you'd like to. But Okay, now let's take a look at the Adzuki beans in the center, pinto beans on the right over here, and then on the left, black beans. 42 calories in pinto beans versus 648, 624. Sodium is 17 on black beans, 10 on Adzuki, and 1 on pinto. Down here for carbs, 8 grams, 124, 116. Magnesium, 73, 62, and only 5 on pinto beans. But pinto beans are the lowest calorie, and yet I've not seen them listed as a superfood. And also, with all the added antioxidants and stuff for Adzuki, I have not found that any of the other beans, or I don't know that it's true that they are a superfood because of extra antioxidants or not. And it pays to research everything. Don't just believe that, hey, this is a superfood, because technically pinto beans should be a superfood with 1 milligram of sodium, 167 potassium, and Adzuki actually has lower potassium than black beans, but it's a high amount of potassium. So analyze, 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 and most of all, enjoy what you're eating. Any bean is a good choice, pretty much. The biggest interest I have in these beans are they're said to help manage normal blood sugar, and a great addition to a diabetic plan. They're good for your heart health, and they're high in antioxidants and bioflavonoids. If you look up bioflavonoids, it has vitamin P. When you look up vitamin P, I would suggest you read the article on flavonoids on Wikipedia. It goes on, it's got a lot of scientific information, but it lists some other things that have flavonoids, and then it's used for inflammation, cancer. It helps with cardiovascular disease, antibacterial, and so on. So do your research. Okay, we're back. Now I'm going to show you a clip of what they look like, the Adzuki beans, 3 days after I put them in water. And I soaked them in water for 12 hours and then rinsed them off twice a day. And I'll show you a clip of the 3rd day, what they look like. Here's a look at the second rinsing on day 3. Just put water in, pour it out, put water in, pour it out. And they're happy little sprouts. Let's see if I can get the sunshine on it. Okay, now back into the cabinet and shutting the door. I'm just pouring water in and pouring it out. And that's what it looks like day 4. Back in the cabinet. Okay, here's day number 5. You can start eating them or keep rinsing and reusing them. Okay, now let's take a look at what it's like to cook them. Welcome to my kitchen. You can put the beans in water and let them soak for 12 hours overnight, or you can just turn the pot on high for an hour and cook them, rinse them off and return them. You can soak them overnight and then sprout them, taking away the water, and then rinsing them off every 4 to 6 hours, and after they sprout, cook them that way. This is what it looks like after an hour. You pour off the liquid, and the liquid is actually dark red like the beans. And the beans actually get a little bit lighter in color. And what's happening is the seed coat, the inhibitor that prevents them from sprouting, is being removed from the beans. And when you sprout them, some of the enzymes that create gas in your stomach are removed. Now let's get some more water on them and get them back onto the burner and cooked on slow. Or low, depending on what you're cooking on. Now's the time to add things like I'm going to add potatoes and country style ribs to it. You could add just strips of bacon if you want just pork and beans, or just leave it completely vegetarian. It's all up to you, and you don't really want to add seasoning until after it's cooked. Okay, if you're a vegan, close your eyes now. I've added the ribs and the potatoes. I keep the potatoes with the peels on because they're being cooked so long. If I peeled them, they would turn to mush. I have the temperature on 300. They actually only took a couple hours to cook. Let's see. They're really pretty good. They just needed some salt. Okay, now that you've seen them cooked and sprouted, when you sprout them, with the mung beans, I like to have them fully into sprout to eat them, just eat them raw or toss them in salads. You can stir fry them, but with the Adzuki beans, you actually don't have to soak them overnight. You can soak them for a couple hours and then cook them, or you can do what I did and boil them for an hour and then cook them for a couple hours, and they turned out really well. And this is something that will stay in my food pantry and part of our diet, but it will be like maybe a few times a month to once a week because of the cost of them, till I can produce them myself. Sorry about Robin. He's back there being a My next video will be on starting slips from the Malachi and the Okinawa sweet potatoes from Hawaii. If you'd like to take a look at that, I'd appreciate it. Please feel free to subscribe and hit the thumbs up button. Thank you.